A great way to learn Photoshop is to recreate something that's already out there. When you're brand new, selecting a easy design sometimes is difficult because you don't know exactly how easy it is. So we're going to start with something fairly simple here. I went out and found this Instagram post, Nike post that has a simple background, simple text, and one image to work with. And we have some shadows that we have to deal with, but otherwise, this is a fairly simple recreation that we're going to do. So, really good project to start off when you're brand new. Now, there's a couple of ways you can do a mask. You can go ahead and use the quick selection tool, and you can see in this video, it's just taking your cursor and dragging across the object. But what I like to do is start off with the simple button of select subject. And I'm going to let Adobe Sensei do most of the work for me, and then I can come in and clean it up. So you can see we have our marching ants and it made the selection. The only thing we have to deal with though is the fact that I don't want the shadows here, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. Now with my selection tool, I'm going to make this my circle bigger, and I'm using the shortcuts with the bracket keys, the left and right bracket keys. The right bracket key makes it larger. Left bracket keys make it smaller so you can get refined, do a little more refining. Now right now it's a plus, so it's saying it's going to add to the selection. So if I click anywhere, it starts to add to the selection. What I want to do is subtract from the selection. So I'm going to press and hold the Alt key, and then I'm going to drag to the edge where I want the selection to subtract. Okay, you can see I've come to the edge of my window here, so I'm going to press and hold the space bar and drag the photo. Select Alt. And you can spend a lot of time doing this. I'm not for the sake of the tutorial, but you can see we can come in and we can kind of fine tune this, primarily because it is an orange, reddish orange background with an orange, reddish orange shoe. So it's definitely going to have some issues that you're going to have to clean up. And what Sensei is trying to do is trying to determine your selection. So sometimes if you go plus on one side, negative on the other side, it will figure out the edge that you're trying to get. All right. You can see here I have some of my swoosh that was selected. Let me go ahead and remove that. And now I'm going to press and hold. I'm just going to press this mask icon here to add the layer mask, and now we've removed the background. Okay. Again, not a lot of work there, but we got in, and now I have my new image. Now the image size that I wanted, let me go to image size. I put 1080 by 1350, and typically this is an Instagram size that we're working with. So this is the Instagram, so 1080 by 1350. I am going to come down here, press and hold, select the color object, and we have our color. Now if we didn't have the color, we could have come over here, selected the eyedrop tool, and you see wherever you press, you're getting your color here. So we press here, and then we come back to our original. We come back to our image, and then we can just add in our solid color layer to get that image there. Okay. All right. So now let's go ahead and drag the shoe over. And I'm going to resize it. So now in this case, resizing this image, I want to maintain the pixels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on the layer and I'm going to convert to a smart object. And what the convert to smart object does, it preserves the quality of the image. So I can resize this image. I can make it smaller. And if I decide to make it larger again, it will maintain the quality of the image. Now the light. In this image, we can see our light is coming from left to right. We have our shadows all over here. So I want to do the same thing with this one. So I'm going to take this image. I'm going to hit Control T to transform, because right now all the light is on the right side. I want the light coming in from the left. So I'm going to go right click on the transform screen, and then I'm going to flip horizontal. And so now I get all of the light coming in from the left. So I'm going to come up here to my paint, and I'm going to have black for the shadows, and I have nothing on this side for the whites. Typically, if you start off and it's like this, we have black for the shadows, white for the highlights. I will come over here and I would delete the white, and then I come up here to this selection here and then change the opacity to 0. And that gives me a black to transparent gradient. And I'm just going to kind of select outside of here. I want to stop about right there. I'll do that, and then I will kind of change the size of this. By changing the size, it allows me to move it around and kind of be a little more creative with it. All right, that's what I want. All right. And if we need a little bit more, we can always just duplicate it. Now I'm going to do one more, because what I want is a drop shadow on the shoe now. So I'm going to go ahead and double click, and let's rename the layer here to shoe. And I'm double click on my shoe layer, and that will bring up my layer style. And I'm going to do drop shadow. And right now the drop shadow is here. I want the drop shadow because the light is coming in from here. So I want the drop shadow on the right side of the shoe. So I'm going to go into the drop shadow and change the angle. And then it's a matter of just taste. Exactly what do we want? Bring that in just a little bit. All right, so we have that, and now it's just a matter of putting in the text. So I'm going to use Antique Olive Compact, and I'm going to take this up to and we'll use the same words. We'll say results don't lie, period. And of course you can see we need to kind of manipulate this font. So I'm going to go ahead and check this box here, click on this box here. And the spacing, here's where we can change the spacing. We want to get the spacing between lines. Actually, I think that might be okay. Let's get it here. I will take this down to, let's say 60 and just call this Photoshop 101. All right. And I'm going to drag these below. Okay. All right. So we just spent a little time with this. I mean, there's some more details that we can work with, but for the most part, that's it. We've just done a little work. We could have done some more on the shadows and everything, but I just kind of wanted to give you guys a brief idea of how to do this. So real quick, fast, simple project that you can do. Again, this is primarily for beginners, just getting a good feel of a nice project. So I will provide you with this PSD and links to where the images are so you can just do it yourself, right? The goal of this channel is to give newbies to Photoshop, After Effects, and Premiere a one-stop place to learn the basics. I appreciate your support in this endeavor, so please subscribe, like, and share the videos and help me grow this channel. Remember, you can never use up creativity, so start creating more and often. This is Quick Start Creative.